Hey everyone, happy Pride. Welcome to this week's episode of Olivia's Corner, the first week of June. Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a creative. I create things, write things, tell stories. I'm a dungeon mistress for D&D. I'm in school for writing movies, and I do a lot of world building stuff. If any and all of that sounds like fun, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on whichever side it's on so that you get notified when I put new content out. Welcome to the club. I've still never told my full coming out story, partially because I feel like it's still constantly unfolding and it's not ready to be condensed into something concise yet. Still working it out. But I want to do something Pride themed, so one suggestion my friend gave me was to name my favorite queer characters. And of course I could name people like literally anybody in the She-Ra stories, anybody from Critical Role. Man, my mind is going blank. I need to do some research. Part of the reason I have no idea which queer characters are my favorite is because the other idea I had was to name my celebrity crushes, fictional character crushes that I didn't realize I had crushes on when I was growing up. That now I'm like, oh yeah, there was a reason I was obsessed with that. Candidate number 1, Odette, the Swan Princess. That was like a staple of my childhood. Was this woman who was stunning and capable, and when the man who was supposed to sweep her off her feet told her that she was beautiful, she said, okay, but what else? Yes, girl, good energy. I watched The Winx Club when I was younger, and I'm pretty sure Bloom was my favorite character. Got a thing for the redheads. Some of them are hard to tell if I just looked up to these characters or if I had a crush on them, because a lot of those feelings get a little mixed up in my memories. I believe Carmen from Spy Kids was like, girl. She was like gorgeous, kick-ass, and capable and confident. I grew up on a lot of heteronormative movies because that's the way that my life was. So I just remember sometimes being disappointed when it ended up being a love story or when the girl falls for the guy in the end. And I thought for a while that maybe I was just like progressively pro-women or something, that like my problem was that they got turned into plot devices, which is still a problem that I definitely have with a lot of movies. But I might have been disappointed that they ended up with the male lead for other reasons. Hey friends, Editing Olivia here. I just wanted to let you know that this is where it takes kind of a turn, and I was processing and releasing some big and heavy emotions. So rather than cut them out and let you just see my joyful, giddy, normal self, I left them in. They're kind of hard to sit with. Might be a little uncomfortable to watch, so it's up to you if you want to watch the rest of this or not. But you've been warned. If it makes you uncomfortable and you don't like what you're seeing, you can leave. That's fine. When it comes down to it, I think the reason I haven't told my coming out story is partially because it's still being revealed to me, still exploring my childhood in memories. It's also just really vulnerable. I've spent a lot of my time and energy discrediting myself, not believing myself, stuffing those feelings, not understanding that attraction was okay in general, but specifically to women. I learned a term today that fits so well, and it was compulsive heterosexuality or compulsive heteronormativity. And I watched the video of a girl who was talking about when she came out and talking about how she had had crushes on boys and dated guys through growing up, and that all of that got hugely in the way of her figuring out that she was gay, and she came out in her late 20s. Her story sounded so familiar that it put a lot of pieces together for me. Me again. I didn't really define it, so compulsive heteronormativity just means that if that's the only option, then it's the thing that you cling to. I'm not shaming my parents' generation in saying that. It's just, I was definitely raised to believe that if you're gay, then there's something wrong with you. That's the break from the norm because it's problematic. Yeah. There were a lot of things that when I started to come out made a lot of sense, like being in high school, and I remember looking around at all of my female friends and thinking, wow, I really have a hard time making friends with guys. I don't like them very much. And man, it's too bad there are no good guys for my female friends. Like, I think I could do better. I think I could be a better boyfriend than these guys are, but I'm not a boy. I didn't know there were other options because I was raised in a religious household where if you're gay, it's because there's trauma. One of the biggest contributing factors to my imposter syndrome that got in the way of sorting out coming out was exactly that I had had crushes on boys. That's because it's the only option I thought I had. I have a very romantic spirit. I remember daydreaming about picnics and flowers and loving romantic grand gestures for engagement things, and I remember being a young adult and thinking, I am already disappointed in whatever happens from some man someday because I know I can do better. And like, that's not to say that men are incapable by any means of romantic gestures. It's just that everything that I was seeing told me that men were not willing to put out romantic gestures. I watched a video today and the girl that was filming was wearing a t-shirt that said, "It's okay to be gay if you want to." And she was talking about wishing that someone had said that to her when she was younger. Another part of her video that was really lovely was that she watched and played her reaction to her first coming out video as a year later check-in, and the level of self-compassion that she had for how anxious she was made me cry. I know that the Alphabet Mafia are talking about Pride merch and how awful it is that large companies are capitalizing on the gay community liking rainbow things and other such things. But I love the way that it's normalizing the community and expressions of being part of the mafia, and it does make me feel seen. Whew. I used to have this like idealized physical appearance for a man that was my type, and it definitely changed with the culture. I don't like when people ask me what my type is now. It's changed so much that I really don't know, and it keeps changing. Like, have you seen women? I love that expression when people are like, I mean, yes, of course I'm gay. Have you seen women? Like, yeah. Alright, this was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, so we're going to be done now. If you're still here, thank you for tuning in and coming along with me today. Feel free to comment below your favorite queer characters or lesbian crushes or otherwise that you remember from your childhood. Or some suggestions to jog my memory, because I'm still sorting through who my childhood crushes might have been. Stay wonderful, and I'll see you next week. Excuse me. Because I was real. Stay wonderful. Stay cool. That was silly.